So for this week, these are two games that I've had a chance to play, and we were kind of interested in looking at them from a store page standpoint. And we are beginning with Flynn, Son of Crimson. We just wrapped up the full play of it on the stream, and I'll probably cut it all up and turn it into a video at some point. So, let's start, as always, with the thumbnail. So, what do you think about this one?
Well, I definitely love the colors. The colors are absolutely amazing on this.
Mm-hmm.
Great use of colors.
Yep, and
the big issue I have is that the F in Flynn is not really readable.
Yeah, it feels like it's flowing essentially right to left. Maybe if it flowed left to right and let that purple kind of be the background, the F, it may have helped it stand out more.
Well, they could have put some of this light purple that they have behind the L, behind the red.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how it kind of just starts at the tip of the red kind of thing. They could have brought that forward and, got a lot of the F in there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They could have took the actual logo itself and moved it over some towards the characters, or rather move the purplish pink stuff in the background over farther onto the F. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's still, I think, a really good thumbnail. I like the characters, how they point towards the actual title.
Yeah, there's definitely structure there. There's a triangle there from the characters pointing at the name.
Mm-hmm. It does, I think it just really pops when you're looking at it, and that is a very important part about having a thumbnail like this. The text, like the Son of Crimson, is pretty readable, and again, like this is something that catches your eye. Like I think if you're scrolling down, you're going to see this like very, is that like a neon purple or just like a very like bright purple?
Well, I mean, neon is just, I don't think you could classify anything as officially neon kind of thing, color-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But it is I mean, they're playing with saturations right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like there's the light saturation purple that's, right above the L kind of thing. And then you have the high saturation pink above between the L and the Y above that. And then you have the high to mid saturation purple beside that. And see, the low saturation makes the high saturation stuff stand out more, So it's a way to make saturation stand out higher. Now, keep in mind that you could definitely go a lot higher saturation than what they have here, but it appears to just glow, essentially, because of that differentiation of contrast.
Yeah. So, grade-wise for this one, it's definitely not the best thumbnail we've seen, but it's still, I think, really high up there.
Yeah, I think this would be A- territory.
Yeah, like, this one that we struggled with when we kind of did our pre-stream, like, kind of pre-review of this, that it does more things right than it gets wrong. It just doesn't, I think, do enough to get into the A+ range.
Yeah.
But it's definitely higher than a B+.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, yep, A-A, I think, is fair for it. So, with that, let's see if we can get this trailer working. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let me just double check one thing. I just want to make sure that... I think I'm live. I think just like no one's watching. That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Alright. Are you ready for the trailer?
Yep.
Okay. And... 3, 2...
Yep.
Oh. Alright. 3,
okay.
2, 1, go. So...
Again, beautiful art in this game.
Yeah.
That's not a cold opening. This is...
Highlight reel.
Yeah. It's a highlight environmental reel.
Yeah.
Not, there goes Bambi.
Mm-hmm. So we actually have footage. It's good they're showing variety of stuff.
Yeah.
And we kind of have like a downward at the 34-second mark. Okay.
Yeah, they were building up, and then they just stopped the momentum and just went back down.
Yeah.
And now they just killed it all again, and now they're going back up again.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want a change in momentum like this, not in the trailers. I mean, in a game, absolutely.
Yeah.
Game story, but like, you don't want this in a trailer. A trailer's too short to have that kind of thing.
And this trailer is on the long side as well.
Yep.
And they're
it
showing
shouldn't
like
be any longer than 90 seconds / 130, a minute 30, and this is 15 seconds longer than that.
Yeah. I like the music kind of playing to like the boss fight. Like I like the final section of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got our call to action. Really like beautiful scene there. Available now on Steam.
The thing about this call to action though is Steam and Humble is so small that it's almost not calling to action. The call to action.
All right, so that takes care of that. And
so, I mean, like the trailer felt like there was no structure to it. The gameplay scenes felt more like, for a lot of them, felt like just gameplay clips rather than edited clips for a trailer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did like clip it or remove the UI for a lot of I think most of the actual trailer, which is good. But yeah, like the music until like the last 15 seconds of the actual gameplay wasn't really matching. And like the high-low, high-low, high-low kind of thing is also very weird.
Yep.
Yeah, like you could have cut a lot of this trailer out. So there's a second trailer that's only 40 seconds long. And it just feels very much like the abridged version of the trailer we just watched.
Yeah. And we're not going to watch those.
Yeah. Just going to show a little briefly on my side here. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of the footage of the second trailer is repeated in the first. The whole boss fight section, just like doing a lot of the motions. So like the trailers, like this is not the same as Webbed, where we had 3 really good trailers that could have all been spliced into like one fantastic one.
Yeah. They just seem to lack in a lot of ways. It's just
and again, a lot of like the game is really being sold on the art and the actual aesthetics of it.
Yeah, which we're not reviewing here, but the art and aesthetics and the animations are all top tier.
Yeah.
But top tier, all of that does not make a top tier trailer.
It helps, but it doesn't help you with structure.
It doesn't help you make a better trailer, you know, as in for our grades, but it does help you for a better trailer overall to sell with. But we don't include that in our grading system.
Yeah. So grade-wise, not a lot of structure. Again, it showed off a lot of variety, which is what you want to see. But pacing is definitely off here. They probably could have cut 50 seconds of this trailer, I think, easily.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this is just either repeated footage or just, you know, here's a character running. Here's a character running over here. Here's a character running over there. Like,
did they ever Naruto run?
Mm-hmm. Like, the part at the end, like, when they're doing, like, the bosses, and it's, like, timing the skips to the beats of the music, that's definitely good. That should be in every trailer of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, like, it just, again, this is one that we were kind of split on in terms of the grade. Like, it's definitely not B-range material at all. But the question is, where does it fall lower than that?
Yeah, I'm going with a D plus because the structure was just non-existent. The gameplay footage was, more gameplay clips and not trailer clips and such like that.
Yeah,
the music didn't fit.
Yeah, for me, like as an action game fan, it showed me what I wanted to see. Cool moves, lots of variety, that kind of thing. And again, the animation is just fantastic on it. So I'm going to be a little bit kinder. I'm going to give it a C minus, and I think that may be like the top for me on a good day.
Yeah. So, but if we were to grade this honest, if we were to include aesthetics into this grade would be way higher.
Yeah.
But we don't.
So let's get... One second, let me close that out. There we go. Let's get to the screenshots. And this is, again, a very easy one to either get a really high or really low grade to. And every one of these screenshots, I believe, is original.
Yep.
Like, they're all crisp. They're all very good looking. The only thing is I don't think they did any kind of cropping or change on them. But
yeah, they didn't go the extra mile.
But they definitely hit what we want.
Yep.
So yeah, this is an easy A+.
Yep.
If they would have cropped the images, if they would have like zoomed in on a few spots, probably take into S tier.
Yep. It's definitely up there.
But does the About This Game page stay up there? Let's find out. So
first off, we have that starting image. Oh,
yeah,
the game is beautiful. That starting GIF banner is not.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as good. I mean, like, if the game was less beautiful, kind of thing, then that GIF would have been pretty well acceptable. But like that is lesser than the gameplay, and you don't want a quote unquote polished GIF to be less pretty than your gameplay.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like the inverse of what like McDonald's does. Imagine if the image they give you on the trailer for their hamburgers is what your hamburgers actually look like, and for the trailer image they give you what they look like in reality now. That's kind of what this is.
Yeah, and like this is the splash screen at the start of the game, and like it doesn't really match, I think, like the animation quality of the rest of the game, which hurts it.
Yeah, it's not as good, well animated. It's not as good aesthetic wise.
Like I think just using like another like in-game footage as the starting GIF would have been better.
Yeah, just a GIF of the gameplay would have been better than this.
Yeah. So if we scroll down, I don't like the use of the white text. I feel like even though it's bolded, blue text would have been better here.
Yeah. It's definitely not a bad thing that they did this. It's bad that they did not do better than
this. So we have a huge wall of text. Again, you want like what would we say, like 4 to maybe 4.5 lines at most.
No, you want 4 sentences.
4 sentences.
Which is, no more, which is generally less than 3 lines.
Yeah.
And this is almost 6.
This is like double of what we want. Maybe 2.5 times what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is double the max we want.
Yeah, like if this went up to back in to try and take over the island, if it was just that, if it stopped there, that would have been, I think, right at like the cusp of it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that would have been the maximum acceptable length.
Yeah. And the GIFs don't really match what they're describing. Now, the first GIF, though, I like it. It's a little bit on the long side, but it shows like oh yeah, the second, or the actual first gameplay GIF. It shows a lot of variety in terms of that footage. And again, the animation quality is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And that GIF is really good, but like it just doesn't really kind of go there.
Yeah. And then the second section, classic 2D action platformer, like this paragraph is acceptable.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
It's still on the long side, but it's in the acceptable long side.
Yeah. Let's see. Alright, so then the next one, again, we have 2 paragraphs. Could probably have broken it up with another GIF.
Yep.
And then this next
both
GIF...
of them are, again, at the, kind of maximum length.
Yeah. So this next GIF is a little bit weird. They're trying to show, like, the world shifting, but it just really looks like you're just showing different footage.
Yeah. And it's really long, too.
Yeah.
If the average consumer that's scrolling through here, I don't think we'll see the entire GIF.
Yeah. Alright, then we have another Explorer Santiga.
A double paragraph.
Yeah.
Again, which you don't want.
Then we have another combat GIF. Now, one thing that I will give the page credit for, it's not just showing the same background or the same environment. Like, they are legitimately showing different aspects of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, like, again, like, I'm just memorized by the animation quality and, like, just the overall, like, look of this game.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. But then we get to this. Embrace the power of Crimson Energy, and this is a very bad section.
Embrace the power of wall of text.
Yep. And one of the things that we see here is that you have 3 distinct sections. And what they did was they had just one super-sized GIF for it. It would have been better from a flow standpoint to turn this into 3 mini GIFs and have them for each section.
Mm-hmm. That would have been worlds better.
Mm-hmm.
Same content, but more digestible.
Yep, and breaking up that text. And then as a final knock, there's no GIF to go with elemental magic in the form of fire, ice, and lightning. Like, it's so, at the bottom that I think most people won't even notice this.
Yeah, that just blends right into system requirements.
Yeah.
There's also, like, no call to action at the bottom, or at the top, or anywhere on this, about this game page.
Yeah. And as a special note that I was thinking about, the store page doesn't even mention one of the key systems of this game, and that is the whole upgrade system of being able to give your character new abilities and grow along those lines. And the consumer base, I think, kind of did not know about that, with the majority of them quitting before the first hour is up.
Which is when you finally unlock that very, very important system that they should have unlocked way before the hour mark.
Yeah. It should have been, like, from a UX standpoint, and again, this is not being graded on, the store page, obviously, but this is just like a general UX practice. When you pick up the red Crimson Gems, whatever they're called, it should have mentioned, these can be used for upgrades, or, they're going to have a use. Like, you don't want to put collectibles in for the sake of collectibles.
Although we see many games do that.
Yep.
And we assumed that this game was going to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Until we got an hour in, and it's like, oh, they actually do have a purpose. That's shocking.
Yep. And again, that's not what you want. But again, that's kind of taking us off topic. We may need to talk about this more as a safely extreme topic at some point.
Yep.
But overall, for the store page, not about this, yeah, not the best one. Even though, again, it shows really good stuff, the structure is just not here.
Yeah, and the application is not here either.
Mm-hmm.
And they led with their worst foot forward there at the start.
We've seen shorter pages with fewer information, I think, score better just because it got the structure right.
Yeah.
So
better to be short and do it right than be long and do it wrong.
Mm-hmm. So
that pretty much rhymed.
Yeah. There you go. Grade wise, definitely not in the C range.
Yeah, this is definitely subpar.
Yeah, it doesn't get the gentleman's C from us.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. It's just done in a really bad way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if you think about it, you know, like, if you think about a pile of gold, you're like, oh, that's a really good thing. Until you realize that it's, you know, there's tons of it and it's going to crush you under the weight of it and you're going to die. And that turns a good thing into a bad thing, you know, and
it's like
kind of the way this game page went.
It's like trying to present a piece of art in a very bad frame that's like falling apart and it's, you know, has stains on it and things like that.
And the glass has stains on it.
It's like cracked and stuff like that. So this one I was debating on whether to give it a C- or a D+.
I'm going to go D+ because they just do so many things wrong. Like they did basically everything wrong. I mean, the only thing that saves it from an F is that the stuff here is quality. You know what I mean? You know, if the stuff here was not of quality, this would have been an F.
Yeah, and I think D+ is like, again, like D+, maybe C- on a really good day, but I think I'm leaning more towards D+. So let's get to the title card. So we have, in this case, two really good tags. Action Adventure. It's missing the gimme of single player.
Yep. But we're not going to penalize it for that. It just could have been better.
Yeah. And I was like trying to think if there was anything else in terms of like tags they could have used, and I couldn't think of any like really other big ones. What about you?
I mean, they could have got away with the RPG one.
Yeah, could have been. So we have developer, we have the publisher, they have a website that is decent.
They have a franchise of Humble Games, and that's not a franchise.
Yeah, I just wonder if that's a Steam change that could just be autofilling, because we're seeing that with a lot of games lately.
The franchise is a new Steam feature, but it's not autofilling because I've seen several of the newer games that do not have it.
Okay.
Or have it set to something else.
Yeah. All right.
So I mean, if it is an autofill feature, then you have, you know, people who are seeing that and going back and getting rid of it. You know what I mean?
So if you're an indie dev, be sure to take note of this. Let's see. So Twitter, you can contact them on. That's how I actually got the press key for the game. You have your official Discord.
Website. How did the website look?
I think it was decent. Let's see. Yeah, I think it has a decent look too. We have press kit front and center on the top. You have email right next to it. That's good. Not the best one, but I think still above average.
Yeah, plenty well serviceable. More than serviceable.
Yeah. Okay, so they have the Discord, which is good. I mean, really, the only thing we could possibly nitpick them on is just missing one of the gimme tags.
And the franchise.
Yeah. But, man, I think overall...
And the fact that they don't have a YouTube or some other social media on here.
Yeah. But I think overall, though, they've hit, I think, almost everything that we want.
Yeah.
So,
except for that second social media.
eh. So I don't think this gets an A+, but I think an A is fair for it.
Yeah, solid A.
Yep.
I would agree.
Alright, so let's get to the final grade for Flynn. And this is an interesting one. I think this is the first time we have one where everything is bumping up a somewhat low grade.
I don't know about that. It's not our first time. But our trailers are the lowest, are pretty much the lowest grade. It's a C- for Josh and D+ for me. So the thumbnail definitely brings it up because that's A's.
Yep, screenshot and title.
Our A's, you know. The About This Game page, we gave a D+, so that's definitely either holding it for me or pulling it down for you.
Yeah. And I think the D+, I think that keeps it from going up 3 grades. If that was in the A range like everything else, we could have probably given it a 3 grade bump.
Yep. But since it's not, we're both going to give it a 2 grade bump. So Josh's goes from a C- for his trailer grade to a C+, and mine goes from a D+ up to the gentleman's C.
Yeah. So again, trailer is important, but you can see that kind of wiggle room if the rest of the page can, you know, go above and beyond. So,
which is what makes it really hard to get, you know, when all your grades are high, it's very hard to get higher.
Yeah. Webbed last week was just what? It was like all like B+, A-. Like we couldn't really bump it up higher, but it was just consistently one of our better pages.